When people typically talk about navigation and homesteads, people kind of perk their ears up and try to understand the logic because homesteads are on a fixed location. And unless you just have thousands of acres and get lost on your own property, a lot of people don't understand why you would need navigational gear on a homestead. Well, the fact is that sometimes we have to leave the homestead to get help or to egress, especially away from dangerous threats, or to go and gather additional resources outside of the homestead to increase our chances of survival or increase our quality of life. So the first thing I would recommend is to create a resource map. And it's up to you of how far from the home you want to explore these resources. It kind of depends, though, on the environment in your area. For example, is it an urban area, a suburban, or a rural area? You may have to have a larger map and include a lot more area if you're in a rural area like myself. You want to probably put down several places that have clean water, several places that have food, maybe places that you can barter for items, things like that. It might even be good to know where a few doctors live or their practices. You know, if you live in a more rural area, you may know that there's a nurse down the street just because you talk to your neighbors. So you may want to put an X on that particular street where they live and say, you know, M for medical or something like that. So you have to create a system. A resource map is very helpful for that. Now, what about equipment to help you navigate to get to those resources or to help you to egress to a safe location? This is pretty common sense. If the grid in the larger sense is still operational, such as the satellites, then a GPS would be very helpful. But I'd also take a compass and a backup compass. I'd also have an area map that's very comprehensive and maybe a map of the whole region. I would also have things that would help me identify where I'm at to keep me from getting lost in case I need to backtrack, maybe basic trail markers, maybe a way to keep track of my pace of movement. And that movement may be aided with the use of ranger beads, for example. And of course, it's good to know how to navigate properly. So have navigation skills to be aware of the positions of stars at night and so forth. So this is not a really big deal in the overall big picture of homesteading, but it's a good contingency to have. Your resource map, the means to navigate, and the knowledge to do such. As always, if you have any thoughts on navigation and homesteading, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.